Hi everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Today I'm filming a video that is all about the books that I will not get to in 2019. I tend to set yearly TBRs. I just posted the fantasy books that I want to read in 2020, and last year in 2018 I for some reason thought that I was just going to become this reading rock star and get through all of these books, but there are definitely some books here that I put on those TBRs that I'm just not going to get to. So let's get to it. So the first book that I want to talk about, this is Red Rising, written by Pierce Brown. This is the first book in the Red Rising trilogy. And this has been a science fiction book that I have just been meaning to get to for ages, it seems like, and it just never winds up on any of my TBRs. And every single time I talk about this as a book that I really need to get to, there are so many of you in the comment sections that are like, yes, you should read this. Maybe I should just have a whole month where everybody else picks my TBR and maybe this will finally wind up on it. I don't know. This follows a man named Darrow. He is on a planet where there's a caste system that is according to color, red being the lowest caste. So I believe that Darrow is part of the red class. People have described it as an adult version of the Hunger Games, but I think there's a lot more to it than just that. But anyways, Red Rising, definitely won't be getting to it in 2019. And then there's this book that I really for sure thought I was going to get to in 2019. And I'll say this, I was tapped to judge the BookTube SFF Awards. I didn't know that I was going to be a judge at the end of 2018. It was something that came about early 2019. So for the first half of the year, this year, I was doing a lot of BookTube SFF awards on my TBR, and so The Eye of the World just got completely sideswiped and I didn't even plan. It was just okay, well that's definitely not happening anytime soon. So this is the first book in the Wheel of Time series. This has been a long-term fantasy goal of mine to get to, so I'm just going to move this one to 2020. I have The Eye of the World as an option for my book club, in my TBR jar. So hopefully I'll draw it for the book club, but if not, this is still a book that I do wish to get to, and we'll see when that happens. Okay, back to another science fiction pick that I did not get to, and this one was just a big fat intimidation factor of why I did not get to this one. This is The Three-Body Problem, written by Cixin Liu. It was translated by Ken Liu. This is one of the most celebrated Chinese science fiction books out there, which is why it has been translated into so many different languages. It is set against the backdrop of the Chinese Cultural Revolution, and there is a team of scientists out there who send out a signal into space to maintain contact with aliens. This book I have heard is just a very, very dense science fiction read, which led to the intimidation factor. I was really trying to expand my science fiction repertoire this year, which for someone who doesn't typically read it and I was just dipping my toes in, I feel like I read way more science fiction books than I had anticipated that I would. It's just that I did not even approach something like this one. Okay, this book, pretty upset that I didn't get to it, but I also kind of lacked the motivation, which is really odd. This is Blood Witch, written by Susan Dennard. This is book number 3 of the Witchland series. This was one of my most anticipated releases for 2019 because I am a huge fan of the Witchland series. Truth Witch, Wind Witch, Sight Witch is a novella, and then we have Blood Witch. I did read Sight Witch this year because I wanted to read it before you read Blood Witch. Susan Dennard did say that she would prefer people to read Sight Witch before Blood Witch, so that's what I did. And then I just never ended up picking up Blood Witch, which is silly of me. This book follows along Adewin, Safi, Isolde, Merrick, the cast of characters that we truly met in book 2. I have heard that this is no longer just the story of Safi and Isolde anymore, but the main conflicts that they are now a part of have been expanded. And of course, if we get some more perspectives from Adewin or Blood Witch's perspective, that is all I need. And that is why I was really excited for this book. But we'll see when I get to it. I have really been enjoying my YA fantasy lately, so I don't anticipate this one's going to be put off for too long. Alright, and then this book is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, written by Stuart Turton. This is a book that I hauled late last year or maybe early in 2019. This was on my list of science fiction books that I wanted to get to. If you've seen my bookshelf tour, you'll notice that I have books double and triple stacked. But I feel like I'm at a disadvantage when I have to double and triple stack books because then I can never see which books are buried back there. The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle is one of those books that's buried back there. And that is the main reason why I just didn't get to it. I just completely forgot about it because it was out of sight, out of mind. So this is, I don't know, it's kind of like a Groundhog's Day perspective is there was a murder that we follow. We follow different character perspectives of how this woman, Evelyn Hardcastle, died, because each time we go through the story of the murder, and then we our character perspective is reset. We're reliving our character life through different people 7.5 times. So it's quite the murder mystery with just a slight, maybe Black Mirror twist to it, where you keep coming back to life as someone else. Yeah, I really want to get to this. When I mentioned this book, a bunch of people said it was a really good read. It just, like I said, out of sight, out of mind, and that's why I didn't get to it in 2019. And then the final book that I have to mention today, this is The Gilded Wolves, written by Roshni Chokshi. This is purely Sam from Thoughts on Tome's fault that I purchased this book, because when she reviewed it, it sounded so great, then I immediately bought it. This was not a part of any of my fantasy lists. This was not anything that I had put on any lists of books that I was I have to get to this book for 2019. But as 2019 wore on, this became a book that I really wanted to get to, and I never did. So I heard that this is a heist story in 18th century Paris with secret societies involved. Somehow all of those things connect, and that's what is a part of this book. The second book, I think it's The Silver Serpent. That's not, there's a serpent in there. I don't know, it's not gilded because of the Gilded Wolves. I think it's The Silver Serpent. That is supposed to come out in 2020 as well. I did not put that as a part of my most anticipated releases for 2020 because I haven't even gotten to this one yet. But anyways, this is a book that I would very much like to get to. So this is The Gilded Wolves, written by Roshni Chokshi. Okay, so all things considered, I do think that I did a really good job of getting to the books that I said that I wanted to get to. For the most part, my fantasy TBR, I made great strides in. My sci-fi TBR, not so much. Let me know down in the comment section below, are there any books that you were thinking that you were going to get to in 2019 and it's just not going to happen? Let me know down in the comment section below. Otherwise, Twitter, Instagram, at whatcassread, the same as this channel, super easy to find. My Goodreads link is always listed for you down below. And you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later.